All right, we're good.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I call this RRTPO TAC meeting to order. Next thing on the agenda is roll call and certification of a quorum. Ms. Firestone.
Town of Ashland, Miss Amos.
Here.
Thank you. Charles City County, Mr. Mitchell. Ms. Russell. Chesterfield County, Ms. Smith. Ms. Walker.
Here.
Goochland County, Mr. Goyne.
Here.
Mr. Coleman. Hanover County, Mr. Badunez. Mr. Flagg.
Hey, Janice, your volume is really low. It's kind of moving in and out. You may want to go back to Tom and start there again, please.
Okay, is that better?
Here.
Thank you. Hanover County, Vice Chair Badunez. All right, 1 second. Mr. Flagg. Henrico County Chair Smidler.
Here.
Mr. Yor. New Kent County, Ms. Leduc. Powhatan County, Mr. Shardine.
Here.
City of Richmond. Thank you. City of Richmond, Ms. Clark.
She's not planning to attend today.
All right, Mr. Bridewell.
Here.
Capital Region Airport Commission, Mr. Rutledge. DRPT, Ms. Dubinsky. Mr. Wagner.
Here, I'm filling in for Tiffany today. Thank you.
Thank you. GRTC, Ms. Sink. Ms. Robinson.
Here.
Plan RVA, Mr. Parsons.
Here.
And Mr. Ariel.
Here.
Ride Finders, Ms. Tisdale. Mr. O'Keefe.
Here.
RMTA, Ms. Simmons. VDOT, Ms. McAdory. Ms. Mueller.
Here.
Thank you. That concludes the roll call for attendance, and we do have a quorum.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is number 3, consideration of amendments to the meeting agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda? I'm not aware of any. See, Chad shaking his head no. So we will move on to the next item, number 4, approval of the August 9th, 2022 TAC meeting minutes. Would anyone like to make a motion?
This is Nora. So moved.
John O'Keefe, I'll second.
Thank you. Janice, would you take a roll call vote?
Ms. Amos.
Aye.
Ms. Walker.
Aye.
Mr. Goyne.
Aye.
Meidler.
Aye.
Mr. Shardine. Mr. Bridewell.
Aye.
Mr. Wagner.
Aye.
Ms. Robinson.
Aye.
Mr. Parsons.
Aye.
Mr. O'Keefe.
Aye.
And Ms. Mueller.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carries. Thank you. Next on the agenda is number 5, open public comment period. I'll read what is listed in the agenda. This meeting is being held via Zoom. A link to the Zoom webinar where individuals may register to participate is posted at the top of this agenda. Members of the public are invited to submit public comments either verbally or in writing. Written comments may be submitted through the Q&A chat function on Zoom or to the email address at the top of this agenda that is available at Plan RVA. Written comments will be read aloud or summarized during the meeting when possible and will be included in the meeting minutes. Verbal comments will be taken at this time. Please indicate through the Q&A chat functions on Zoom if you would like to comment. When acknowledged by the chairperson, please clearly state your name so that it may be recorded in the meeting minutes. Are there any public comments?
We're not aware of any today.
Thank you. All right, moving on to number 6, the TAC Chairman's Report. Wanted to let people know that Henrico County will be hosting a public hearing for the Fall Line Trail, the Villa Park phase, and the Longdale phase. It is tomorrow, September 14th, from 5 to 6:30 p.m. at Longdale Elementary School. It's on Norfolk Street in Henrico County. Plan RVA, I think Bill Riggins will be there helping man one of the boards and helping. So excited to see this Fall Line Trail move forward and get some good public comments. And just a heads up to all the other localities, you know, just about funding opportunities. I see Miles is going to be talking about STBG CMAC. So stay tuned about that. And Nicole may update about HSIP. I heard that had an October 30th or 31st deadline. And I know a few of us are working on Safe Streets for All, which are due this Thursday. And I'm sure there are many other grant opportunities, but just a reminder to localities to look out for those. That's all I had for the TAC Chairman's Report. Next up on the agenda is number 7, the RRTPO update. Mr. Parsons.
Thanks. I just wanted to put everybody's attention on the current work efforts that are in the packet and highlight a couple of things that we've been doing in terms of outreach to the community, starting with some human services transportation updates. We had meetings in July with Hanover Human Services, Senior Connections Advisory Council, New Kent Community Outreach Council, and then the Senior Connections Board of Directors. Those were all in July. We've also done a lot of events this summer. We did a lot of community nights through the Flying Squirrels. I think we did 2 different games where we had a tent up and we're talking to folks about regional planning and the work that's been going on by Plan RVA over the last year. We just did a community night with the Richmond Kickers, which was the first time that we've been out there. That was a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll be able to do that again and get you all out as you're able to attend those games with us. We've also published our first newsletter, and we've started a blog talking about all the different work that's been going on at Plan RVA. We also have been involved with a market value analysis report, which has been, I think, a lot of fun for our staff, and it's also, I think, going to be really helpful for everybody here to kind of take a look at the Richmond market and what opportunities might be out there for economic development and growth. And I'm sure more information will be passed along about that through the Plan RVA Commission. We are also trying to finalize projections for the socioeconomic data work group. I know that there are a couple communications that still need to be tied off with member jurisdictions, and I hope that we can close that loop pretty soon, so that we can keep that work group moving forward for the 2050 LRTP. If there's any other questions about the current work efforts, be happy to answer those. But for now, that's the highlight, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Parsons. I like the creative outreach efforts. That sounds really neat. So next up if there's no other questions for chat, I will move on to number 8 on the agenda, which is fiscal year 21-24 Transportation Improvement Program, GRTC request. And Mr. Bushing will be presenting. I can see the screen.
Okay, can you guys see the whole PowerPoint?
No,
Yep.
no, I can just see
No.
the slide. Well, yeah, so just see what we need to see.
Okay. Sorry, the controls are a little off today. So thank you, Madam Chair. This first item is a tip amendment request from GRTC. So a little bit of background. We received a request with 17 different projects that had proposed changes to obligations for the FY21 to FY24 tip. The majority, 12 of them, were minor administrative adjustments. So those have just been processed at the staff level. But the remaining projects are tip amendments, which need to go through the full TAC and the policy board. So 2 of those projects are new projects, which need to be added to the tip. And just as a reminder, for all new projects, we have to do a conformity determination. We have to demonstrate fiscal constraint, have our public review, and then do the TAC review and policy board approval. The second set are projects that are already in the tip, but there are large changes to the proposed obligations, either increases or decreases. And staff applied a sliding scale to determine which of the projects should be processed as amendments and bring those before you today. For these, since they're already in the tip, we don't have to look at the conformity piece, but we do need to demonstrate fiscal constraint again. So make sure that these are potential projects that can be completed within the available revenues. So the new projects, as I mentioned, there's 2 of those. The first one is a transit strategic plan. And this is a $275,000 plan for FY23. It's a mix of 5307 state match funding and then local GRTC funds. And this project is considered exempt for air quality purposes. Since it is a planning or technical study, there's no construction or any impact there. The second new project is also another study. It's a ridership survey. Also for FY23 and 5307 state and local match funds for a total of $290,000. So those are the 2 new projects that are proposed. The remaining projects, as I mentioned, are existing with changes to the obligations. So the first is our UPC GRTC 003, which is preventive maintenance. The proposed change removes the 5307 and local match funds from FY22 and FY23, but slightly increases the preventive maintenance obligations in FY24. This is a 47% decrease in planned obligations across the 4-year program. The next project is the paratransit vehicles, GRTC 008. This one's also a pretty significant decrease, 52% decrease. It's 2.87 million in total in FY23 and FY24. The next one is also a decrease. This is the UPC for acquiring computer software. And as you can see, it's decreases across the board from 22, 23, and 24 for a total of 5.3 million decrease planned obligations. And then the last 2 projects, we have increases. So these GRTC 033, acquire computer hardware, a decrease in FY23, but increases for FY22 and 24 for a total of 3.75 million increase in planned obligations. This is a 148% increase. And then the last project is GRTC 035, which is the purchase of support vehicles. Again, this is a significant increase as a percentage. So decrease in FY23, increase in FY24, net change of just under $500,000. So these are all large changes, which is why we're bringing them to the TAC. Do ask if anyone has specific questions about the rationale behind the changes, if GRTC can jump in and help provide some more support on that. But the last piece that we had to look at was the fiscal constraint. So what staff did was look at the slate of both the administrative adjustments and all these proposed amendments. And across the board, you can see a negative number means that the planned obligations are less than what they were previously, which means we stayed within the assumed budget levels that we had previously assumed in the TIP. And we did have one increase in the FTA 5339, but that is because of the new grant funding that GRTC was awarded. I believe that was announced at the last meeting or maybe 2 meetings ago, but there was additional 5339 that was awarded through a federal discretionary grant. So that's the increase there. So based on the totals overall, we can see that we are still within the assumed budget levels for all of the funding sources. So the last piece, as I mentioned, is a public comment that will take place after the TAC makes a recommendation between the 15th of this month and September 30th. And then that will be forwarded. Any comments that we receive will be forwarded to the policy board along with TAC's recommendation. So the action requested today is 2 parts. The first is that a recommendation that the policy board amend the FY 21 to 24 TIP to adjust the obligations and include the new projects as shown in the draft pages, which are in your agenda packet. And then the second part is the note that the new projects are considered exempt from conformity. So that's a requirement that we include that for any of those new projects. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. And as I mentioned, if there's anything about the specifics of why these changes are being made, I would defer to GRTC to provide additional detail.
Barb, go ahead.
Wondering what the reason was for the changes. Just a short synopsis.
GRTC, Ms. Robinson, would you be able to respond?
I'm actually checking to see if Sam can jump on real quick.
Okay.
One thing I will add is this is an annual process for us. So every year as we're getting ready to start the new federal fiscal year, GRTC provides a list of updates to the planned obligations. So that's part of what's going on here. This is just the FY 23 gearing up for the new federal fiscal year. But the specifics in terms of the particular projects in these cases, I do have to defer to GRTC on.
Miles, thanks for that explanation. Chat, did Miles say what you were going to say? I saw your hand lower.
No, I should have asked this before the meeting. Miles, do we need to, does the action need to include the public comment period?
No, it doesn't. That's just
Okay.
part of the process.
Got it.
Any other questions from the group from Miles while we wait for a response from GRTC? Go ahead.
Miles, you indicated this is just sort of a cleanup, maybe? Is it just a cleanup exercise where we're trying to get these projects to match actual schedules?
Correct.
An
So
annual review, things got delayed, and that's why things are shifting.
correct. And as GRTC updates their capital planning on an annual basis, we reflect that in the TIP to make sure that we're able to obligate the federal funds as needed.
Good morning.
Okay, well, I don't want to hold things up. So if someone's comfortable making a motion, I'm good with that.
And Ms. Robinson, just wanted to check in with you one more time if you had anything to add. I know she was trying to get Sam Sink on the phone or on the line, but Barb, if that sounds like that, you're okay moving on. Would anyone like to entertain a motion or make a motion?
Sorry for the hold up. Sam's logging on now.
Okay. And so Patricia, right now, I think we're waiting on a motion, but once Sam can log on in the next minute, we can, she's welcome to elaborate, or GRTC wanted to make a motion, but we can, I'm comfortable waiting another minute. All right, not seeing Sam join yet. I think we need to move on. I'll reiterate again, would anybody like to make a motion, or Patricia or anyone else?
Yeah, this is Austin with Goochland County. I move that the tip is amended as presented, along with the 2 new projects as presented on the screen.
Thank you, Austin. Is there a second?
It's John O'Keefe. I'll second.
Thank you. Janice, would you please take a roll call vote, please?
Yes, ma'am. Miss Amos,
Aye.
Miss Russell,
Aye.
Miss Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Goins,
Aye.
Ms. Chair Vadunez, Chair Smidler,
Aye.
Mr. Shardine, Mr. Bridewell,
Aye.
Mr. Wagner,
Aye.
Ms. Robinson,
Aye.
Mr. Parsons,
Aye.
Mr. O'Keefe,
Aye.
Ms. Mueller.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carries.
Thank you, Janice. Next on the agenda is number 9, the revised fiscal year 24 to fiscal year 29 STBG CMAX schedule. Mr. Bushing, please go ahead.
Thank you again, Madam Chair. This item, it will be brief. So at the last TAC meeting, TAC came to a consensus that we should split the existing projects from the new projects as part of the application period. That way we can decide whether a new project application window is appropriate given the amount of funding that's expected. Staff has prepared the revised schedule. It's in your agenda packet. But what we're proposing is a 2-week existing project application period starting on this upcoming Monday, the 19th, running through the end of the month. Staff would then review the existing projects, and we would present and TAC could discuss at the October meeting. If TAC decides that there's sufficient funding in either the RRTP or CMAQ program, we would hold a call for new projects for a 3-week window from October 17th until November 4th. Everything else is largely the same, and it's just moving through the presentation, screening, scoring, with an ultimate goal of TAC review in February of the allocations and TPO approval in March. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions or if there's additional comment on the revised schedule.
Miles, I just had a question about, I see the existing project application period starts September 19th. So will you be sending out information about like we're using Google Forms and how to do that? I think we used Jot last time.
Yes, it'll be Jot again, and it's for existing projects, it's a pretty straightforward form, which is why we left it at only 2 weeks. It's basically, has your schedule changed, has your estimate changed, how much more funding do you need? So it's a relatively straightforward process, but we'll send out the information on how to fill out the job form.
Thank you. Any questions for Miles from the group? I appreciate the update. Thank you, Miles. Next on the agenda is number 10, Transportation Agency updates. DRPT is first on the list. Mr. Wagner. Mr. Wagner, are you able to give a DRPT update?
Yes, sorry, I was having a little bit of trouble with my mic.
Oh, no worries.
All right. One minute. Oh. All right, sorry everyone. I somehow lost my document. Just give me one moment. Here we go. Apologies, everyone. I guess I'm having some technical issues.
We can give you a minute and come back.
Yeah.
I'll come back to you at the end.
That would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
GRTC update, Ms. Robinson.
Sorry. Hi. Yes. I just wanted to mention, as far as the agency goes, we are evaluating proposals for our North-South BRT study, so that's going to be awarded contract soon. We have our upcoming board meeting next week on Tuesday, the 20th. And we're also breaking ground on our new downtown transfer station. So that's going to be between Clay and Lee and finished in the spring of 2023. And I will add on, just for a little bit of note, I heard a little bit from Sam, the 2 added projects are because we were awarded technical assistant grants from DRPT, but I don't have comment yet on the modifications. So my apologies for earlier.
Thanks for the update. Any questions for GRTC? Hearing none. Thank you, Patricia. We'll move on to Ride Finders. Mr. O'Keefe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ride Finders had another busy month as usual. Vaughn Tisdale and I had completed the National Transit Database Certificate Program through Rutgers University. That was a 4-day class. It was 4 hours each day talking about NTD data. So that was interesting and very insightful, to say the least. We also did start 2 new van pools in August. We had a 7-passenger van start from Newport News to Richmond and a 15-passenger van start from the Glenside Park and Ride in Henrico County going to Washington, D.C. So as I've reported for the last few months, we are continuing to see van pools return. We've had some more return this month as well. So hopefully we're going to see that trend continue. We continue to utilize social media opportunities to promote and support the carpooling and green commuting with fun, with compelling messages to drive behavior change. We did share Plan RVA's Ride Finders Don't Trash Central Virginia Partner highlight on our social media platforms and on our website. And last but not least, ma'am, our auditors are working on completing the annual audit and the triennial compliance reviews. And as of right now, we are in full cooperation. And with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions anyone may have.
Thank you, Mr. Akib. Any questions for ride finders? Hearing none, we will move on to VDOT. Ms. Mueller.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning. I'm sharing my documents so you guys can follow along. My update will be short this morning. The CTB did not meet in August. The next workshop meeting will take place in Stanton on September the 20th at 8:30 a.m. And the action meeting will be on the following day, September 21st, also at 8:30 a.m. Moving on to Smart Scale, round 5, validation is underway. Richmond District Planning is facilitating all communication with the applicants regarding validation and scoring. VDOT staff appreciates the coordination with you all. Thank you for responding to our many emails and portal alerts. We're trying to make your applications the best they can be, and we can't do it without you. So thank you for responding to us. Scoring is anticipated to be completed in December. Moving on to Fall Line. You have seen this on previous updates. I have nothing new to report this morning. I do want to remind you that the standard project agreement between CVTA and VDOT for the northern section was presented to the CTB in July, and action on this is anticipated at the CTB meeting next week. And last but not least, there are currently no public hearings within the TPO study area. And that's my update, Sharon.
Thank you, Nicole. Any questions for Nicole? Chet, I see your hands up.
Yes, Nicole, I don't know if this is the right time, but we do know that Shane Mann is moving on to a new opportunity. And can you provide any update on who the TPO should be communicating with directly? Is it Mark Riblett or is it?
Definitely include Mark Riblett, and if you can also Dale Totten.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions for Nicole and VDOT? Hearing none, we'll loop back to DRPT. Mr. Wagner.
Hey, thanks everyone. I have everything ready to go now. So September is Discover Transit Month for folks. So we'll put out, continue to put out some promotional materials to help get folks back on the bus, back on the VRE. So we have some promotional events, including our Tri Transit Pledge, which will enter folks into a contest to win a free Virginia Breeze and Amtrak Northeast regional tickets. And recording commutes on Commute VA app will automatically enter folks into winning a $100 gift card. So definitely encourage people to put out materials on the Discover Transit Month and check out transitva.gov for more information there. Just trying to get folks excited again about returning to their transit commute or trying it for the first time. Additionally, we have a mid-cycle grant funding opportunity for the TRIP program, which is our Transit Ridership Incentive Program. Now, this portion will be geared towards regional congestion mitigation and looking at more of those regionally significant routes rather than any fare subsidization programs. So this is specifically for the development or improvement of regionally significant transit routes, or things like prioritizing transit in regional streetscapes through bus-only lanes, prioritized lighting, etc. So that has just opened, that grant cycle has just opened September 1st and will close October 3rd. So any letters of support or time-consuming supporting documentation can be accepted till October 21st, but please submit those applications by email to trip@drpt.virginia.gov. And for more information, you can obviously check out our website under the TRIP program, or you can contact my colleague, Lauren Magnato, who's our TRIP program manager. That's lauren.magnato, MAGNOTTO @drpt.virginia.gov. And the next piece is, I think, going to be probably one of our future conversations for this TAC meeting. We'll have coming up later this fall an update to the Virginia statewide rail plan, which is going to provide us with some long-term guidance for the Commonwealth's rail needs for folks across the Commonwealth. We will have a virtual public meeting Tuesday, September 27th from 6 to 7 p.m., which will give some folks some opportunity for public comment on the plan as it's revealed, and it will eventually go to CTB this winter. So folks can register for that meeting via our website. We have a link there. And I can also share this document with Chet and the Plan RVA staff so we can distribute that as well, so you all have access to it. And then lastly, one more virtual forum to let you all know about is the Transit Equity and Modernization Study. We've finally wrapped everything up and have an action plan to present to folks. We'll have a virtual forum on that October 6th at 1 p.m. And you can see the final report as well as some some final recommendations for the action plan at vatransitmodernization.com. And that is all from us.
Thank you for the update. Any questions for DRPT? Hearing none, we'll move on to number 11 on the agenda, future meeting topics. So far, we have 4 bulleted items: DRPT, Virginia statewide rail plan, scenario planning. The third is CVTA project prioritization updates. Fourth is transit modernization study update. Is there anything else the team would like to see added to the future meeting topics? If you think of anything else, just feel free to reach out to me, Chet, or Janice. Number 12 on the agenda, TAC member comments. Are there any comments from TAC members? Hearing none, the next meeting is scheduled for October 11th. And I consider this meeting adjourned. It is 9:40. Thank you all for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful week.
Thank you.